Tonight on the Einstein Factor, a teacher whose TV doctor had the first mobile phone, a public servant whose abstract Spanish subject worked blue for a period, and a former systems analyst whose battling subject went the full Monty for a very long day. Good evening and welcome to the Einstein Factor. You know, 6:30 Sunday is a crowded, cutthroat time slot on Australian television. We still have 3 contestants and 3 subjects competing for a playoff place in 2 weeks. But to win more viewers here on the Einstein Factor, we're introducing, wait for it, more dancing, more landscaping. Because that's what people at 6:30 want, we feel. And when I say more, I mean, in fact, some. In fact, I've pushed for more dancing landscapers. And as soon as the budget is approved by G's, it'll be go, go, go on the dancing landscapers. But the budget, thankfully, has been approved for these 3 people. 3 of Australia's brightest minds and possibly keenest gardeners. Our very own Brains Trust. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Karl Kruzelnitsky, Anita Hunt and Red Simons. He has enough degrees, ladies and gentlemen, to create a large ark and has written as many books as a young Barbara Cartland. He brings a love of science to the masses and he has brought himself here tonight. Would you please welcome Dr. Karl, ladies and gentlemen. Now, your love of knowledge and all things like that, did that stem from your desire to learn how to spell that last name of yours?
No, somebody gave me a book of astronomy when I was 7 years old, and I thought, wow, isn't Australia big? Isn't the world big? Turning pages, isn't the solar system big? And we're only a tiny spot inside the galaxy, and oh my heaven, there's 400,000 million other galaxies, and then I got this incredible feeling of awe and wonder which has never left me.
Our competitors, when they come up against the Brains Trust, will be concerned that you're there, sitting there with all that knowledge in there.
I'm just here to help and to share the love.
He's cuddly and smart. Next is a prolific writer and author with a PhD in media. She is currently a Deputy Director of Indigenous Studies at Macquarie University. Please welcome back Anita Heiss. Thanks for coming back, Anita.
Thanks for having me.
What's 2005 hold for you?
Lots of teaching, lots of writing, lots of learning and sharing the love, apparently.
Thank you for coming back, Anita. Appreciate that here on the Einstein Factor. Anita Heiss, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, one of Australia's most famous faces. He once served as a cultural documenter and now serves as an ABC radio host and Brains Trust favourite. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Red Simons.
You know, it's a really weird thing because my name was originally Red Kruzelnitsky, but I couldn't spell it, I couldn't say it, so I just got rid of it. I called myself Simons.
Simons. Now, I may have lied about digging up the contestants' lawns. You know, I was speaking to them earlier and I said we're going to dig up your lawn while you're here, but we do have a new twist in the tale. While the contestants will battle the Brains Trust in rounds 1 and 2, in round 1 they will be working together for points. We'll find out how after we meet our first contestant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a thunderous round of applause, Mr. David Campbell, an English and history teacher from Queensland with a healthy interest in walking and martial arts and a bit of an obsession with science fiction, including his subject, Doctor Who. Hello, David.
How are you?
Now, did you fall in love with Doctor Who way back when?
Way back when.
Really?
Very young.
All right, here we go, David. Your subject is, in fact, the TV series Doctor Who from 1963 to 1989. Good luck. Your 90 seconds begins now. Over time, it is revealed that the Doctor is an extraterrestrial from which planet?
Gallifrey.
Correct. What is the title of the premiere episode of Doctor Who?
An Unearthly Child.
Correct. Which actor played the Doctor when he was exiled to Earth by the Time Lord?
John Pertwee.
Correct. The season 6 story, The War Games, comprised how many episodes?
10.
Correct. Attempting to reclaim their planet Vortis from the parasitic Animus is which race of butterfly-like creatures?
Menoptera.
Correct. The term TARDIS is an acronym standing for what?
Time and Relative Dimensions in Space.
Correct. Played by Valentine Dyal, who is the evil
The
master?
Black Guardian.
Correct. A long-time character on the show, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, first appeared holding what rank?
Colonel.
Correct. Which god is worshipped by the Sever-team, the tribe to which Leela
Zoannan.
belonged?
Zoannan.
Correct. After accidentally coming aboard the TARDIS, Australian flight attendant Tegan Jovanka is whisked off to which planet?
Logopolis.
Correct. The first Doctor travelled back in time to 1881 to witness which legendary event?
Pass.
The gunfight at the OK Corral. Which of the Doctor's companions first appeared impersonating her Aunt Lavinia, an eminent
Sarah
scientist?
Jane Smith.
Correct. Which actor played the Doctor in the stories The Visitation, Black Orchid and Snake
Peter
Dance?
Davison.
Correct. The Doctor leaves his granddaughter Susan on Earth after she falls in love with which resistance fighter?
David Campbell.
Correct. First transmitted in Chicago in 1983. What was the first episode to have its world premiere outside the UK?
Five Doctors.
Correct. That is the end of your standard questions in round one, David. 1,400 points. Pretty impressive. Right, here we are. How much do you trust the brains? How much do you trust the brains trust, David?
How long is a piece of string?
All right, I don't know, Carl.
Depends. And that's definite, though.
All right. Here we go. The bonus question. Here's how it works. I have a true or false question in front of me based on David's special subject, Doctor Who. If David attempts to answer it and gets it correct himself, 100 points. If he thinks the Brains Trust knows the answer and punts it to them and they get it right, that's 200 points for David. The question is, the actor who most often starred as Doctor Who was the fourth in the role. True or false? Do you want to have a go yourself or do you want to give it to the Brains
I think
Trust?
I'll ask the Brains Trust.
Whoa! I'll ask you the question again. True or false? The actor who most often starred as Doctor Who was the fourth in the role. True or false?
False.
False.
True.
All right, false. Brains Trust reckon it was false. Do you wish you'd answered it yourself, David?
Yes, I do.
The answer's true, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Baker. Tom Baker. Well,
I'm not sorry.
But I am.
I'm sorry, look, Dan, I've got to ask you, look, you know, these guys, the Daleks, right? Masters of the Universe.
They try to be.
Mate, what would happen if they ever came to a set of stairs?
You're not the first person to make that joke.
Well, what would they do, though? I didn't see that episode.
Well, if you can fly through time and space and portals in time...
Oh, so that they can levitate?
You can go a couple of feet up in the air.
I never saw them levitate. They have, like,
there
little
was one
strings?
story where they did.
Well, against the backdrop of walls, cardboard walls that ripple to the touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheap sets.
fantastic. Here we go. Thank you, David. 1,400 points at the end of round one. Well done, you. Our second contestant... Well done, you. Our second contestant is Maria Palomares, a federal public servant from Victoria who loves cooking and especially loves her subject, the 20th century master of abstract painting, Pablo Picasso. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Very well indeed.
Good.
Pablo Picasso, huh?
Can I just correct you on the surname?
Yes?
Palomares.
Palomares.
Thank you.
All right, well, if you've got to correct me on your surname, the pronunciations I've got ahead of me are going to be fun for everyone.
Do your best.
Pablo Picasso, arguably one of the greatest artists to ever walk the planet. Good luck. Your 90 seconds begins now. Dominated by pinks and earth tones, what name is given to Picasso's paintings from late 1904 to late 1906?
The Rose period.
Correct. From a street of brothels in Barcelona comes the name of which famous painting of 1907?
Demoiselles d'Avignon.
Correct. Correct. In May 1943, Picasso met which young painter who later mothered his children?
Francois Gillot.
Correct. Expressing the horror of modern warfare is which famous 1930...
Guernica.
Correct. In 1891, Picasso's family moved to which city in northwestern Spain?
La Coruña.
Correct. For most of which year of the 1930s did Picasso virtually give up painting to concentrate on poetry?
35.
Correct. Picasso's subjects in his early years in Paris included the inmates of which women's prison?
Pass.
Saint-Lazare. In 1936, Picasso was appointed honorary director of which museum?
The Prado.
Correct. Picasso spent World War II in France with Dora Maar and which friend from his student days in Barcelona?
Sabartés.
Correct. An important element of Picasso's work in the 30s was which monster of Greek mythology?
Minotaur.
Correct. Picasso's father served as the model for the Doctor in which 1897 painting?
Science and Charity.
Correct. Picasso produced a series of 58 paintings based on which work by Velázquez?
Las Meninas.
Correct. Premiering in 1917 was which ballet devised by Cocteau with sets and costumes by Picasso?
Parade.
Correct. The collection Suite 347 includes etchings on the theme of which Procurus? That's the end of round one. Las Celestina, Maria, 1,200 points in regulation time. But we have here the bonus question. If we had a drum roll and could afford it, it would be here. The 16th question. You can't lose points, Maria, but you can actually gain 100 points if you answer it correctly, or 200 points if you give it to the Brains Trust and they answer it correctly. It's a true or false question about your special subject, Picasso. The question is, Picasso's famous blue period was preceded by his lesser-known yellow period. True or false? Do you want to make the 100 yourself, or do you think the Brains Trust know the answer?
I think the Brains Trust should know this.
Oh, faith. Here we go. This is 200 points for Maria if you get it right. Picasso's famous blue period was preceded by his lesser-known yellow period. True or false?
It's false.
It's false.
It's false. There's 3 falses. You can't get much more confident than that. The correct answer is false. Maria's earned herself 200 points. He didn't have a yellow period. All right, at the end of round 1 for Maria, that's 1,400 points. Maria, well done indeed.
Thank you.
Our final contestant is Anthony Millen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a round of applause. A former systems analyst from Victoria who loves sport, contracted malaria on the Kokoda Trail, and whose special subject is the wartime events of the longest day of 1944. G'day, Anthony.
G'day, Peter.
Welcome to the Einstein Factor.
Thank you.
You didn't bring the malaria with you, did you?
No, I didn't. Well,
So when were you on the Kokoda Trail? Not, you know, you're too
No.
young to have been there, you know.
that was about 3 years ago, I think, 2001.
And you walked the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
Fantastic. That would have been very moving, I would imagine.
It was very enlightening, actually, yeah.
Yeah, well, here we go. Let's see how you go tonight. Good luck. Your 90 seconds, Anthony, begins now. What was the code name for the artificial harbours created for the Normandy invasion?
Mulberries.
Correct. Anticipating an invasion, Hitler appointed which Field Marshal Inspector of Coastal Defences?
Rommel.
Correct. By the end of D-Day, the least progress inland had been made from which beach?
Omaha.
Correct. The 2 designated assault sectors of Juno were Mike and what?
Stan.
Nan. Which German division drove into the gap between the Canadian 3rd and British 3rd Divisions, almost reaching the sea?
352nd.
21st Panzer. Which D-Day commander was later the first chairman of the US Joint Chiefs of Staff?
Patton.
Omar Bradley. Which beach included the towns of Arromanches, La Hamel and La Riviere?
Gold.
Correct. Reaching shore some distance from the intended landing spot, which US commander declared will start the war from here?
Roosevelt.
Correct. What was the designated H hour for Utah and Omaha?
7 a.m.
0630. Which Australian war correspondent flew a glider with the British 6th Airborne Division on the morning of D-Day?
Pass.
Wilmot. The name of a fuel supply source, Pluto, is an acronym standing for what?
Pass.
Pipeline under the ocean. The US 2nd Ranger Battalion scaled the sheer cliffs of which promontory?
Point de Hoc.
Correct. Which US battleship pounded the German defences on Utah prior to the invasion?
Nevada.
Correct. Late on D-Day, the 56th and which other British brigade reached the outskirts of Bayeux? Oh, there goes the buzzer. 151st is the correct answer. Anthony, 700 points at the end of your regulation time. You do, in fact, have the 16th question up your sleeve. It's a true or false, as I explained. 100 points if you attempt it and get it right. 200 points if you give it to the Brains Trust and they get it right. You can't lose any points. Here we go, the bonus question. The first D-Day action involved the company of British troops commanded by Major Paul Keating. True or false? Do you want to have a go or give it to them?
I'll give it to the Brains Trust.
All right, Brains Trust, here we go. This is for 200 points that could serve Anthony well right now. The first D-Day action involved the company of British troops commanded by Major Paul Keating. True or false?
True.
False.
True.
Brains Trust have given us true as their answer. False was the answer we were looking for. Unfortunately for Anthony, it wasn't Major Paul Keating, it was Major John Howard. Would you have known that, Anthony?
I did know that one, yeah.
Oh, rub it in. Go on, rub it in.
How bad do they feel? Anthony remains on 700 points. Still a long way to go here on the Einstein Factor. Let's review the points as they stand at the end of round 1. Anthony on 700, Maria on 1,400, David also on 1,400 at the end of round 1 on the Einstein Factor. All right, let's rip in to round 2, which reminds me, I must remember to buy some new light bulbs. It also reminds me to read out the subjects for the multiple choice questions. Here they are. Kiss and tell. Cut. Political animals. Think of England. Dems fighting words. American rock, The Long March, Cool Inventions, Poetry in Motion. David, you're away. Please pick a subject.
American rock, thanks. American rock.
American rock. The subject, American rock. The question tonight, here we go. Which US rock band released the album American Idiot? Was it A, Bloodhound Gang, B, Green Day, or C, Sonic Youth? 5 seconds. Our contestants have made their selection. We throw it over to the Brains Trust now to combine their mental skills.
They're all looking at me, and I figure music is for making, not for knowing about.
Oh, spoken like a true guitarist.
I take a crack at Green Day, I think, B.
B.
Yes.
And Carl and Anita agreeing with Red?
They do a lot of political stuff about minorities and taking
tell
the
the
mickey
truth.
out of
You've
the
got no
Macy's
idea.
Day Parade
No
and things like
idea.
that. So I'm assuming they'd call an album American Idiot.
With that. B, they've said Green Day. What did our contestants say? An A, a C and a B. The correct answer was B, Green Day. Anthony has scored some points in round 2. Anthony jumps to 750. Maria?
Kiss and tell, I think.
Kiss and tell. Here we go. The question tonight is, Tony Curtis famously compared kissing which actress to kissing Hitler? Was it A, Janet Leigh, B, Marilyn Monroe, or C, Natalie Wood? 5 seconds. Tony Curtis. Who was like kissing Hitler? Contestants have made their selection. So let's throw it to the Brains Trust. Brains Trust, Tony Curtis kissed who and thought it was like kissing Hitler?
Oh, she wasn't that bad. It was Marilyn Monroe, B.
Marilyn Monroe. Carl and Anita just sitting there, confident that Red got it right.
Well, he claims to have kissed her, so he knows.
Yeah. He's more likely to have kissed Hitler. Let's see where our contestants went. A B, and a B. Everyone seemed to think it was Marilyn Monroe. Well, it was indeed Marilyn Monroe. Tony Curtis famously compared kissing Marilyn Monroe to kissing Hitler, so everyone got that one right. Well done. Anthony.
I'll take Dem's fighting words.
Them's fighting words. All right, that's the category. And the question tonight is, beaten in 2002 by Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson praised him with, "I take my what off to you." Was it A, cap, B, hand, or C, pants? 5 seconds. I take my what off to you? Contestants have made their selection. Let's go to the Brains Trust. Cap, hand, or pants?
Well, I'm hoping it wasn't pants.
Yes.
Nose or ear would work
Whatever
just
was.
as well, yeah. Well, logically, cap. Hand
Which
is...
means it would probably be hand.
Pants is almost funny. What do you reckon?
Cap, hat.
Cap. Right, we'll go cap.
Go with cap.
We'll go cap.
Mike
It's
Tyson
sensible.
praised him. I take my cap off to you. That's what you're saying he said. All right, A. Brains Trust reckon it was A. Let's see what our contestants reckon. A C, and a C. Ladies and gentlemen, it was indeed hand.
Really?
Ah, I take my hand off to you.
What was he
He must
thinking?
have meant glove.
Good argument for
glove.
boxing, isn't it? All right, nobody there scored any points. Let's go back to David.
Think of England.
Think of England. All right, here we go. The question tonight is, England's most easterly point is in which county? Is it A, Essex, B, Kent, or C, Suffolk? 5 seconds. England's most easterly point. They've made their selection, Brains Trust.
It's a trick question because Essex means east, doesn't it? Yeah.
It begins with the letter
It's E, and
E.
easterly starts with E.
Yes, coincidence? I don't think so.
We think that's probably the answer.
Maybe, or maybe not.
Have you kissed anybody in any of these places?
Yes.
I was born near all of those places, but I'm really not
Which
sure.
one's the most?
I'm attracted to Suffolk for reasons I can't explain.
That's not good enough. We'll go with A.
All right, overruled. Right, Simon, overruled by Anita Heights. All right, they're going with A, Essex. So what did our contestants reckon? An A, and a B. The correct answer, you'll never hear the end of this, is Suffolk. C. Red Simon's got it right, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody else. Well, there you go. You'll learn something every day. Where are we up to? Hands up. Anita. Maria. All right, Maria. All right, just make sure everyone's on their toes. Please pick a subject.
Cut.
Cut. Cut! Exclamation mark. The question is, Oscar nominated 5 times since 1986 without winning has been which Australian director? Was it A, Baz Luhrmann, B, Fred Shepsey, B, Fred Shepsey, yeah, and it's written down there, and C, Peter Weir. 5 seconds. Fred Skepsey. How hard is that? Skepsey. Baz, Fred or Peter? Brains Trust?
It's sadly, it's not Fred Skepsey.
Yes, thank you, Ruth.
And Baz is just a pup yet. It's Peter Weir. It's got to be Peter Weir. Because he's made the most films of those guys, I would have thought, at a reasonable level.
What do you think? Other members of the Brains Trust?
Oh, they don't know.
We don't know.
We're still back in Suffolk.
Ask me something easy like how the universe began or something.
How the universe began. All right, so you reckon it's C, Peter Weir, and
I'm pretty sure.
damn confident with it. All right, they reckon it's C. Our contestants reckon it is C, C and C. The correct answer is C, Peter Weir.
Big it up for
5 times, not winning. My apologies to Fred Skepsey. I knew it was Skepsey. I was just mucking around with you, Fred. See you at lunch. Anthony?
I'll take the Long March.
The Long March it is. The Long March. The question tonight is, how far did ex-footballer Michael Long get in his protest walk to Canberra in 2004? Was it A, Albury, B, Benalla, or C, Wangaratta? 5 seconds. I don't want to harp on it, but Fred Skepsey. All right, Brains Trust.
Oh, you see, that's a trick. I thought it was Chairman Mao went on the Long March, not Michael Long.
And I thought he got there.
Yeah.
He ended up in Canberra. How did he get from any one of those places? I thought he'd gone all the way there.
But if it was me, personally, I would stop Benalla, because that's like not too far.
It
was me.
If it was Fred, he wouldn't go past Benalla. What
Which is the
about you,
greatest
Anita?
distance from
Carl?
Melbourne?
Albury.
I'll go with Albury.
The Brains Trust reckon it's A, Albury. What did our contestants select? An A, and a C. The correct answer is A. It was Albury. He got as far as Albury in his protest walk to Canberra.
It was A for Aborigine.
A for Aborigine. A got Albury, Aborigine.
Yep.
Let's have a look at the scores at the end of round 2. Anthony is now on 850 points. Maria is on 1,550. And David is also on 1,550 points. Round 3 now, and as any David Attenborough will tell you, in the wild, the Brains Trust is the natural enemy of the contestant. In a dramatic recreation, we will now see how perilous nature can be. Over 15 beat the buzzer questions. Everybody ready? Here we go. 1998's Good Friday Agreement is a peace deal for power sharing in which UK? David?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland is correct. Released in 2004 and featuring her greatest hits was which DVD by Kylie Minogue? Maria.
Kylie Minogue's greatest hits.
Ultimate Kylie. Was it?
Nice try.
They did give that a lot of thought. H2SO4 is the molecular formula for which strong, colourless? David.
Sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid is correct. By what name do we know the machine that conveys Doctor Who through time and space? Anthony.
TARDIS.
Correct. Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize twice. David.
Radium.
In which 2 categories we wanted physics and chemistry? Analysing the subject in basic geometric shapes are paintings in what style? Maria.
Cubism.
Cubism is correct. In 2004, people protested against presidential election fraud. Maria.
Ukraine.
In which former Soviet republic? Ukraine. Scores 950 for Anthony. Maria 1650. David 1650. It is tight. Which future US president was the Supreme Allied? Anthony.
Dwight Eisenhower.
Dwight Eisenhower is correct. Supreme Allied Commander of the D-Day operation. Long valued as agricultural fertiliser has been the guano. Brains Trust.
Nauru.
No, not the guano of Nauru. The guano excrement of which flying mammal? the bat. You don't hear from them forever and then they just...
I would have got that wrong anyway.
No, you wouldn't. Passing away in the Bahamas in 2004 was which author of the disaster novel Airport? David.
Arthur Haley.
Arthur Haley is correct. Which characters on Doctor Who famously exclaim, exterminate... David?
Daleks.
Daleks is correct. The carry is a rapidly growing tree native to which continent? The carry.
Africa.
Is Australia the answer? What was the code name for the 1944 Allied invasion of Normandy? Anthony?
Overlord.
Operation Overlord is correct. There are 2 questions to go. Spanish-born Pablo Picasso died in which country? Maria?
France.
France is correct. The American Declaration of Independence is stolen in which 2004 film, Anthony?
National Treasure. National
National Treasure is correct. That brings us to the end of tonight's Einstein Factor, which makes David the winner tonight on 1,850 points. Well done, David. Congratulations. We will see you again in a fortnight, David, so please bring a plate.
I'll do my best.
Anthony, 1,000.